36 delicious facts about cooking that will interest you. Smoke, especially smoke from the flame used for cooking at home, kills about 1.5 million people in developing countries every year. Historically, women have experienced the greatest vulnerability to the dangers of cooking, especially since they often wear frilly skirts and long-sleeved dresses around fires. Cooking food with fire or heat is a human activity. While archaeological evidence for cooking dates back only 1 million years, cooking probably began 2 million years ago. The Industrial Revolution changed cooking forever, so that from then on, food could be mass-produced, mass-marketed, and standardized. According to historians, kitchens are places of violence. People regularly get burns, cuts, frostbite, especially cuts. Grilling food can increase the risk of cancer. Charred meat can damage DNA and genetic elements and cause cancerous mutations. A chef traditionally wears white because the French Prime Minister's chef, 1815, believed that white is the most hygienic of all colors. The creases used in chefs' hats not only depict professional fashion, but also traditionally represent the number of recipes a chef has. Thus, a chef's hat with 100 pleated brims indicates that he may have 100 different ways to boil eggs. Historically, the taller the chef's hat, the more important or knowledgeable the chef. Today, most chef hats are about 9 to 12 inches tall. The fear of vegetables is called lichenophobia. In America, the rise of fast food and the decline of cooking have reduced family dinners and increased obesity rates. Around the world, eating insects, also known as entomophagy, is commonplace. Insects are attractive because of their high protein, crispness and taste. Before the appearance of cooking tools around 24,000 BC, humans depended on plant shells or animal body parts to store and carry food. A sharp knife will cause less damage to the cell walls of an onion and release less propanthal oxide than a dull knife. Propanthal oxide is a chemical that causes tears when chopping onions. A chef is less likely to cut himself with a sharp knife because a sharp knife requires less force to cut food. The oldest type of soup dates back to about 6000 BC. This soup needs sparrow meat and offal. In 17th century Europe, professional chefs in wealthy families were mostly men. Because of the intense heat in the kitchens, they were often naked or working in their underwear. Pound cake is called pound because the raw materials for its preparation require 1 pound, 453 grams, of sugar, 1 pound of flour, 1 pound of eggs and 1 pound of butter. U.S. fire departments handle more than 156,000 household fires each year, including cooking equipment fires. If fugu or puffed fish is cooked improperly, it can cause death. The poison of this fish is 1,200 times more deadly than cyanide. Scientific research shows that roasting, grilling and smoking meat and fish can increase the risk of cancer. The largest dish found on the menu to date is stuffed camel. To prepare this food, a whole camel is stuffed with a pair of lambs, 20 whole chickens and 60 eggs. Before the French Revolution, bread was associated with national identity, and baking bread was considered a public service to prevent people from rioting. Because of this, the police controlled all aspects of bread making. Researchers have found that food TV encourages viewers to eat more and cook less. Food TV may actually discourage people from cooking because it raises expectations. Cookbook author and cooking instructor James Rayar is considered the father of American cuisine. He supported American food when most chefs were still following the example of French cuisine. After the Greeks invented bread ovens, the art of baking bread advanced dramatically. They were able to bake different types of doughs and breads, which eventually led to commercial bread baking. In American families, since the mid-60s, the amount of time spent on cooking has been cut in half. Americans spend less time cooking than people in any other country. Americans spend more time watching TV cooking shows than cooking. Scientists note that because cooking leads to energy density and easy digestion of food, it allows the human brain to get bigger and the intestines to get smaller. Cooking also gives humans more time to learn than eating and digesting food. Salted and unsalted butter do not have the same characteristics. Salted butter is less susceptible to bacteria, so it can be kept outside the refrigerator for a long time. However, unsalted butter should always be in the freezer. In general, because butter has a lot of fat, it does not spoil quickly like other dairy products such as milk. Today, Americans spend about 27 minutes a day preparing food and 4 minutes cleaning the kitchen. That's less than half the cooking and cleaning time of 1965. Magirochophobia is the phobia of fear of cooking. Internationally known chef Gordon Ramsay lost to an incarcerated chef in an onion slicing competition. Gordon offered this prisoner a job in one of his restaurants so that he would start working after his release. Usually, vegetables that grow underground, such as beets, carrots, potatoes, should start cooking with cold water. Vegetables that grow outside the soil, corn, peas, green peas, should start the cooking process with hot water. The first cookbook called Farmer's Boston Cooking School Cookbook was written by American chef, Merritt Farmer. This book was published in 1896.